Hello, hello. Welcome back to my desk. My name is Lena, and I'm participating in the Thrifty Cheap Art Challenge because I just sort of think it's so great that he is having focus on inexpensive art supplies. So I guess the whole drill is to kind of show with joy how much joy you can have out of inexpensive art supplies and still maybe create something that doesn't look like you're in the kindergarten, right? So I'm full throttle trying to catch up on this challenge. I have to do like 15 prompts. And today I realized that there gotta be like two kind of people, when it comes to deadlines. There are the ones that are like really responsible and then divide the task up into several days. So it's doable. And then there is Lena, who apparently in this case here, usually not in my private life, is procrastinating like a freak. So I hope not to be the person who is trying on the last day to finish off like 12 drawings and still trying to convince people about, hey, I'm still having fun, even though I'm pressured. So it's like the 12th today or something. And today we have like 2 days to make the prompt arch, but I have only made 3 prompts. So I'm gonna work through the balloon and the suitcase, hopefully on this stream here. And I'm still having fun. So let's get started. You know what? On the balloon, I was thinking, hey, this might be a perfect excuse to use my praying watercolors. They are definitely an inexpensive art supply, so they sort of match the criteria of what supply we can use. And what do I have here? I am missing a green one. That's blue. I know, a little bit difficult to see on the camera, but I got a good range of balloon colors. Wouldn't you say so? So maybe I would, even because I am such a frugal idiot, I'll try and use up some of this blue uh thing that's down here, because it's actually quite a large swatch that's spilled in this palette here. I have no idea where the green one went. But it's a very loved, well loved uh, palette. I have had it for a long time. I don't even recall when I got it, but I know that I got it because I was very interested in the M-grams. And the thing that interested me was that people said that, oh, it's so like sticky, like with the honey binder. And I love that glossy look in a watercolor pen. So when I saw a picture of this prang, I was thinking, oh, it reminds me of M. Graham, like the way it looks like a little bit sticky. And they also call it juicy, semi moist. So I bought this set, and I have to admit, I have not been let down. This is good paint. It's actually really good paint. Let me try and clean up these wells. I should be better at cleaning off my tools before I put them back to sleep. But today I'm gonna try and make the prompt balloon. And there's just like no S, so it's one balloon, I guess, which instantly makes me think about a hot air balloon, right? So I was thinking about making a spread with a very wet wash hot air balloon. Hi, Linda. Welcome to my desk. I'm so happy to see you. I'm still trucking on with this art challenge here. So, welcome, welcome. You are in for what I hoped is 2 drawings today. I have to do balloon and suitcase. So, let me start here. I was thinking about, it's watercolor, right? So why not get a little bit messy with this one? So first, I think I'm gonna splatter out a bunch of water on the page, like randomly, and then splotch in some colors. So it's gonna be a little bit messy, but you know what? We like these things because that's what's fun about this medium here. If a color bumps into a pile of water, it will immediately unfold itself. And it looks funny in the second it happens, and then it's annoying because it takes a long time for it to dry up. But the second is worth it. I mean, that's I think that's why I love the medium watercolor because I just um I just love to see the action happening. Let me illustrate it. Like I take this, for instance, this blue color here, and then when I meet this puddle, it contaminates the whole water pile. Can you see that? So that is just yeah, it makes me smile. I love stuff like that. Let me wet down these colors here so they're ready to be used. Oh no, did I not give myself any? Okay, we're gonna do something that's a little bit stupid. I'm gonna try and pour water into this small container here. Oh, I think I did. Oh my god, I did it without spilling a single drop. How about that? Yeah, it's a cool prompt to work with, right? Um, you could just make a regular balloon. I know that, but it's more fun to have like a hot air balloon. So what I want to do, oh my god, am I destroying the previous page? No, I don't think so. Okay, I want to just have splotches of color and then see what happens. So I'm just gonna flicker in some color, and as you can see, it's gonna mix and land random places on my paper, and that's actually very likable. It's a likable mess. It's a great way to start a painting. Just getting a lot of mess down. Let me try and use up some of this blue that's down here. Yes, yes, yes. Let me get in some yellow also. I think you can get like larger sets of prang. So if this set is too few colors for your taste, there actually are like a double decker set where you can like open it up as a closet door, and it looks really yummy. I did not get that one, but definitely it's lurking in the background of my want monster because it's very likable and affordable paint. Okay, I think I have a good start. I just need to spread out some of this so it sort of looks a little bit like maybe a cloud or something. I'm just gonna meet some of these droplets here and see if we can get like a very colorful background. Could be so awesome if I had a green. Um, I could try and mix one with the yellow and the blue, but maybe this will do. Maybe a little bit more red over here, maybe. Like red is my favorite color. Yeah, it just needed that splotch. Okay, let me suck up with a tissue where there is like too much water because we do want this to dry. Not quickly, but hopefully dry. I'm just gonna press the tissue down on the puddles. But yeah, what a glorious start on a page. I mean, if this doesn't wake up your inner kid, I don't know what does. This is why I love watercolor. You know, like this uncontrolled mess right here. Okay, I sort of have the worst water sucked up. And the rest I'm just gonna leave on the paper. Maybe I should throw that one out. That tissue is well spent. Okay, I want to start. I'm thinking that I need some sketch lines. And what color am I gonna sketch with? Does it matter? I guess it does. So what about this lilac? Don't you just love this color here? Okay, what if we can see we're standing below this hot air balloon. So we are not viewing it from the side like we are up in one. So we're more like seeing what we can see down from the ground. And that will be something that's like really huge, like, you know. So I'm trying to envision how we sort of can see the hole inside of the balloon, and it's like a little bit slanted, so it's taking off. And I'm doing that because I'm hoping to get some movement into my drawing instead of just making a spot on drawing of the balloon. I'm trying to paint it from a different angle. And since I'm not having a reference picture, I may need several tryouts to do this, like a bunch of sketch lines. Maybe I should switch pencils or I better can see what's going on. It definitely have like these line works here. My balloon have, at least. Yeah, I like that. And then I can imagine that sort of the basket comes here. And like I said, we are gonna see it from the bottom instead of the side. So it's not like all sides of the basket that we can see. And then we have all the string work going up. Yeah, I think that's a cool start. That's a good start. Okay, so let me get in some of the colors. Um, we could have like a strong blue up here to sort of finish it off in a nice ending. So I'm gonna not I think I should not fill out the whole designated spot, but just sporadically to give it that sort of loose style. So if we start like this, and then we move into the red, of course. I really love the red. But before we move into the red, it could be really cool to have like an orange sort of line work to break up from the blue. And yes, they are like complementary colors. So hello mud, but I will embrace the mud if any. And now we can get into the red. Man, this is like really my favorite color. So I think I'm gonna use a lot of the red. So I'm just gonna paint in the lamels of color here. Oh man, this is so cool. What an awesome starter drawing. I have to start creating something today. So it's nice to start up with something that's so abstract and loose. Like if I had started up with a super tight sketch, I might have felt a little bit intimidated continuing, Like sometimes why not make it a little bit more approachable for ourselves and ease up with something that's like super sketchy. Okay, back to the yellow, don't you think so? Like here, you could like have a yellow color. Okay, I'm gonna let the yellow bleed into the red here. That is nice. Maybe I should carry on the yellow color all the way down here because it is like a shape that's turned a little bit. Do I even get that feeling of a turned balloon? I'm asking myself. Should it be like more crazy? Yeah, oh my god, it must look so weird to see me dip into this hole as it was a pan. I think that down here in the center, I could have a stronger color. So I think I'm just gonna make the basket like a purple in the shading, and then add brown to that, and then see how will it mix. There was a lot of brown I got there on my brush. Kudos to inexpensive watercolor where you can be a pig like this and not feel that you are wasting a lot of product. That's how I like to work with my inexpensive watercolors, like using them madly. I think this down here could have a different color that last rim. So I'm gonna grab the purple for that one. Let's see. Like if this was Sennelier watercolors, I think I would be a little bit upset having wasted so much pigment into my rinsing jar. That the thing that inexpensive sets can give you is exactly the feeling that nothing is wasted. So it frees you up to shift gear quickly, rinse out the color that you thought you're gonna use, and then pick the right one instead of trying to battle through with what you picked up on your brush because you're too stingy to rinse it out. That's an odd shape right there. I think I'm gonna keep it. I kind of like it. Okay, maybe I should go in with like a red pencil and try and do these line work here. Maybe what it needs is a little bit of contrast. Like this paper is really taking an abuse. Like I'm using a pointy tip on a very wet page. And so far I have not poked through the paper. Okay, the line work from the basket. Let me redo the basket. Like this is the basket, right? And then we got like some sandbags and whatnot hanging down here. I think the line work is actually going all the way. Oh my god, how to connect this? Maybe I should work with these lines coming from the balloon top itself and see if I can make something that makes sense. Hmm, it's not like a perfect basket. It's there. I can see what it is. It's very wonky. So with the red color, I'll see if I can correct up the shape a little bit. It's very like leaning. Maybe maybe it's okay. I don't know. Let's try it up and see what we get. It could be very cool if the edges could be like running out and sort of dance with the background. So it's more like a splatter that happened. So maybe we could actually create a faux orange puddle right there and then make that sort of string out of this edge here. And over here we could have maybe something yellow. Yeah, it's fun to make it look like it just happens sporadically, but you're sort of controlling it in a way. Maybe I should take like a very sheer dip of blue, like very watered down, and then add into the perimeter so it kind of looks like blue sky, especially over here. Could have a little bit of blue here. Love what's going on in this corner here, the way it mixes together. So if we get a little bit more blue tone up here, maybe, I think we sort of got it framed in a nice way. We could have some purple here, I feel. So if I just plunge in a smidgen and then try and whisk it out. I still got something about the shape. I'm gonna take a colored pencil and see what's teasing me a little bit is that I got this centerfold in the page. So whatever shape I'm trying to draw is getting sort of foreshortened for my own view. Hmm. Maybe it appears more wonky because of that reddish line right there. So if I could pull that back into a different color, just break up that shape right there. Yeah, and then a little bit darker bottom of the basket. I love that it appears somewhat purple. So it's not just like one colored basket. It's not just brown. I'm just gonna dip in a little bit of dark value in there. Yeah, and maybe more of these bags. Okay, I think I should let this dry up. I think it's a fun one. I really like the way that it's wild and it's very watercolory. Oh my god, if I could change something, it would be to maybe block in. Oh my god, I just ran out of the yellow. No, there is a little bit more down here. I was thinking to get a little bit of yellow fragments here and there to fill out some of the balloon. And then I sort of lost that orange. It got eaten up. Maybe if I darkened up the some of the lamels. Is it called a lamel? Like just you would do on a pumpkin if you were painting a pumpkin, which gonna be actual soon. Yeah, maybe that helped a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna let it sit and dry up, and now I'm gonna cross my fingers, flip to the back page, and see did we do any damage? We did a little, a little. So what I can learn from this is that I really need to glue the pages together, because then I can work in wet washes without making any issues. I will try and heat set this page here to lesser the damage of the ghosting. So hold on. Ooh, it's barely holding on. I think I want to just go and give myself some new water because this one got totally murky. So I'll be back in 1 minute. And I'm back. That was a fun starter, to loosen up and get ready to paint some more. It's still very dry. I think I'm gonna heat set it a little bit more to be able to flip the page. So hold on to your ears. Yeah, it's a little bit moist. I'm just gonna give it a minute to relax. But yeah, unfortunately, I hit totally pan with the yellow, and this is what annoys me because I think it became like a lesser set now where the yellow color is gone. Because it is nice to have the primary in your palettes. So what I think I will do off camera is that I would simply just refill that yellow because it's a super great color to have in a palette. It's like a nice workhorse. You use it for a lot of mixes, but that's often what happens when you get a very well loved palette. That I don't understand the people who can like completely use up one set and not mixing it with other sets in doing so. Like you need two sets so you can pick from the other set the colors that are lacking from what you're using up, or you can simply just keep on refilling the slots. So yeah, that will be a task for me to do off camera to pick a tube of something and put into that yellow well. But yeah, that was the praying watercolors. I'm just gonna leave it open so it can dry up. The next prompt is suitcase, and oh, thank you, Linda. I'm thinking it could be fun to not paint like brown suitcases, but I imagine like a stack of suitcases and then have them in very cheerful, maybe even like pastel colors. So let me dig in my bin of what palette I feel could be awesome to grab for that. So I'm just gonna show you my bin of palettes. Maybe this one actually. Yeah, this one could give us some really fun colors like the mint and some teal. Yeah, this is actually a super pick. We we know this one. Um, I'm also gravitating to the Pretty Excellent palette. Got a lot of fun colors. Here we got more like lighter um macaroon colors. Okay, we're gonna take this one here for the suitcase because it's got like some fun pre-mixed colors. And the whole ordeal about having palettes like this is even though it looks like there's always the generic 12 same colors in each palette, they all have different colors in them. So when you start swatching them out, you will of course bump into the generic 12, 15 that's always there, but then you actually have extras that can make things fun. This is a good suitcase palette because we got the metal shimmer for the metal work on the suitcase. So perfect palette, perfect palette. That's actually one of the fun things when you are having a collection of watercolor is to pick out the palette that will meet your needs when you got an idea of something you want to paint. So for this challenge here, I cannot pull out granular watercolor, even though I really love to paint with granular colors. But there are the brands that I have are in a bit higher price range than just student rate, so I don't want to use them for this challenge. Okay, I don't even know. Oh, it did bleed through. Lucky me, I already took the reference picture that I need to post on Instagram. So I don't have a nasty reference picture with all the ghosting. Maybe I should go ahead while we still wait for this page to relax a little bit and glue these two pages together. That would be smart. But yeah, it's Friday. Love, love, love Friday. I am really looking forward to Friday every single week. And it because it means a couple of days where I don't really need to work. So I'm always happy on Friday. Okay, I'm gonna. There probably is a rule about how to glue pages together without making them curl up when you close the book. So while the glue is wet, I'm just gonna burnish it, burnish it in place. Yeah, I think it's okay. But oh well, I have tried to glue a comp book together in the wrong way. Have you guys ever tried that? So when you get to the end of the gluing the comp book pages together, you get this hill, this bulk of paper. When you try to close the book, that is like so annoying. So that's why I'm squeezing with my fingers. Okay, this was the balloon. Now for the suitcase. I think I want to work in double spreads. I kind of like double spreads. Now the pages feel so thick. It is okay. That was the next page. Okay, sketching. I'm thinking stack like books. That could be nice, right? So I'm just gonna give myself some good space to sketch with. And how about just picking random colors? How about like a slanted view? So how can I describe it? Like like you don't see them only from the front, but you get like a slant. Yeah, it's gonna be almost like sketching books, except that these cases here are gonna have that metal corner on them, and then of course they're gonna have like this handle here. I'm gonna make the handle a little bit down here. Maybe I made it too small. It still has to clasp over the dividing line right here, right? Okay, it's just a sketch. So let's see what happens when we start putting color on it. Now I'm just gonna replicate that the shape on top of each other. Maybe I should do like two suitcases and then a round hat. Um, yeah, we gotta make like a huge trunk up here. Yeah, it's gonna be like a trunk that sticks out a little bit. Well, that's a hefty, hefty suitcase. And then this is the center of it. And then I was wondering, maybe this one could have like clasps that are like this. Oh, we're having thunder. And then it could have some sort of a carry-on handle here. Just just one. Oop, the cat wants in. Yeah, I knew it. Just a second, I'm gonna let in the cat. Hi, Mr. Hoops. Ooh, come to me, Mr. Hoops. Jag öppnar till tårna. I just let the cat in. We had like a big thunder, and then the cat was banging on the garden door. And then when I opened, the tail of the cat was like this fat here. So it must have gotten a shock. Love, love, love that. Oh, hi, Cassandra. I'm sorry. I'm just going on without reading the chat. Um, thank you so much. The paper I'm using is very inexpensive because I'm participating in an art channel called Cheap Art. So we have to use inexpensive materials. So I took this book that I bought on Amazon, and it's made out of some papers that are, I would say, like hot press. There's no texture to it. It soaks, it drinks ink. I mean, don't you dare get a fountain pen near these pages. They just swallow up the ink. So I immediately figure out that this is not going to work for me as a written hand journal because it's just going to use a lot of pens, you know. So instead I'm using it for crazy things and also watercolor, but it started out as some sort of an inspirational journal. So this is washi tape. So I have a lot of this is like that scrape paint squeege, I think they call it. So it can take gouache. This is a gouache. Oh my god, did you hear that thunder? But yeah, I've been using it with wet medium and it seems to be holding up okay. Oh my god, some of these drawings are like yeah, from 2023. That's also why I don't really recognize what's in this book. I was a little bit like here I am testing out some products. Here I'm gluing in things and it holds up nice. Oh, this was a fun one. This one was, I think, was over at my Patreon where I tried to paint rocks. um Yeah, and then some pages where I just added some stickers on and they're blank. And then I had this signature that I wanted to designate for the art challenge. So it's mostly like a glue book, like yeah, like a glue book because it's not good for journaling with a fountain pen. Okay, I want to make like a round case here where you sort of have a hat in. And it could have like a clasp too. I'm not sure if this one should have a strap. I mean, how else would you carry it? So maybe we could add on a strap that's just. Oh, here comes the rain. OMG. I probably am the only one who can hear it. Yeah, out of that big thunder, there's a lot of rain. I need some finishing line works for the suitcase right here. Maybe maybe I should just make it larger. How about that? It looks kind of stupid that it's just ending like it should have been like super super large. So it probably should have been that size here to make it look realistic. And now comes the cool part about sketching with a watercolor pencil. I can just erase with a brush. And then the painting that I'm going to put on top of this is just going to cover up any lines that's ghosting through. So you're not even going to notice it when the drawing is finished. Okay, I cannot wait to paint in these suitcases. Um, it could be fun to work with something called a mother color. Have you ever heard about that concept? It's where you pick a color that's gonna be mixed into everything you paint on your drawing. So that's why it's a mother color. It's the mother of all your colors. And if you're smart, you can figure it out before you start painting and picking your colors. Okay, let me think. It also depends on your palette. Um, a color, the green is going to give us issue unless the color is yellow, because that can go in the blue, but yellow is complementary to the purple. So green and blue, green and yellow are not in our basket. If I alter that to be anything else than green, I can actually carry on having a mother color that is magenta. Okay, let's lock that in. So I'm just gonna find a magenta palette. I think this is the one. Yeah, look how beautiful it is. This is gonna be my mother. And so the trick is to take your magenta, and then I wanted that suitcase to be purple, so I can just grab any purple that I want from my palette. I'm thinking, let me just audition this one here. No, that's too boring. How about one of those soft lavender-ish colors? And it's gonna alter the color, but it's gonna look cool in the end, because there is this strange color theory that your eyes can actually depict that you used a mother color as foundation for all your mixes. So it's gonna give a very harmonious finished look, if it makes sense. So this dark here, this area here, I think will be out of light. So my light source will come probably from this side here. So I'm just gonna test out the strength of the mix that I have on this, because it's like a very dark mix, right? So what I do is that instead of like blocking in instantly, is that I get water to help me color out the rest. Because then you're like dragging the pigments from your shape. And it's leaving some areas unpainted, but it's fine with me, because we don't have like a solid purple area here. It's a suitcase that can open up. That is the dark color. So now I take a lot of water in the end puddle here. So I'm basically just diluting it out, and then I'm doing the same on this front here. Just dropping the watercolor here, and then rinse my brush, and then just with water drag it down. And this is a technique where you need glazing if you want to enhance, or like make some areas stronger, or change things up. But the good thing about this technique is that as long as you apply too light of a coat, you can fix it. If you apply too strong of a coat, you're in trouble because then you have to lift off value constantly. This is hitting the light. So what I would do here is that I would draw down along this side here, rinse my brush, and then with water drag out the color. And you may wonder why am I doing all this? I'm doing this because it gives me it just gives me a very likable texture between shifting between a strong application and a light application, and then through glazing I can build it up. Okay, here it needs to be darker because it's in shade. So I'm just gonna take, was it this one here? And make like a stronger mix. So it's a little bit more milky. I'm gonna put it a bit thickly there and then rinse the brush and drag it out. And then what you get is like a very romantic way of painting your illustration. It's gonna look a bit like the ones from Daphne's Diary, where it looks really super soft. It's so soft and sheer that my camera is not even picking up the lilac values from here where the light is hitting. But no worries, you can go in, like I said, and strengthen it up. Just as long as you remember that the strength must come from where you first lay your color deposit. And this side here, I want to glaze on that one too. I like this style because sometimes when you're just blocking in an item in one color, it gets a little bit boring because it's just everything is just that one color. So here you get like a mix of different lilacs, and you get deposits of pigments here and here, and it's going to create some sort of texture. So if I glaze over a shading color on this area, it will really looks like it's in shade. And this is so sheer and bright up here, so it will really looks like there is less color here, even though everything is purple. So, um oh, thank you. Hello, Thread and Glue Designs. I think you're new to me. I don't think that I ever have greeted you before. Welcome to my desk. Okay, this needs to dry up. So I think I'm gonna work on that one up there. It have to be something where magenta can incorporate. So I see no issues with when we're having the blue. That's gonna be fine. But I got several different kinds of blues. I'm thinking about. I'm definitely gonna use that. That is such a yummy color. I'm definitely gonna use that one for the big trunk. So what could be on top of it? I am thinking maybe it could be fun to actually introduce a reddish brown, because that hat round circle suitcase could look nice in brown. So I take the brown color down on my palette, and then I invite in the mother color. Oh my god, it's beautiful. We right there we have like a very, very nice maroon, really likable. And now this is a round shape. So what I would do is that I would first concentrate on the edge of the round shape. This is just my first glaze. So I'm thinking when I'm putting in color in these items here that I need more than one coat. So I don't get intimidated about something looking like half done for a while, because I know I'm gonna come in with a lot of coats. And to not give myself a hard edge, I'm just coming in with a soft brush here. I'm just gonna wet the whole area. Now the whole area is wet. I want to plot in more value on the end edge here because it's a round shape. Misa, hi. I'm gonna let that dry up. Oh my god, now the cat wants out in the rain. Are you crazy? Get wood again? Wow. Check it out. I left the door open. I'm not gonna touch that because I just want to let it dry up as it wants to. But I think I'm gonna wet the string of the strap of this case here. And then I'm just gonna plot in with the tip of my brush. It's such a small area, you know. So having it wet and then dropping in color in the bottom and then slanting your page and then sort of try and invite the paint to settle where it wants to can give a very like organic look. You might need to help it a little bit. This paper is so thirsty. It's already soaked in the water. But usually when I work on other types of watercolor paper, when I do this drill, I just did here. When I plot pigment down here, it would start traveling up this strap. And it will leave a snake that's like very sheer here, but getting darker and darker and darker. But I think this paper is a little bit special. It's very thirsty, so I need to help it a little bit. But what I want is a gradation of strength of the color, you could say. um, the same over here. We got another strap, so I'm just gonna wet it. And this strap is different because some of it are hit by the highlight, some are not. So I'm just gonna try and hit the edge that's in the darkness with my color. So you sort of get, maybe the camera is not picking it up so much. How about now? You sort of get the, yeah, it's a little bit difficult for me to put words on it. I just like this way of painting because I think it looks super feminine. And I think I want to heat set this so the pigments are not moving, because then I can paint in the lip of the hat box. So I'm just giving it some water and then I'm just plotting in pigments from the end. And just like we did with the strap, I'm plotting in pigments in one side and then I tilt my page. And hopefully, yeah, look, this paper is not working with us. If I was on better paper, it will just disperse itself. And the way it disperses itself is a way that I cannot paint with my human hand. So I like the way that the watercolor paint itself, it just places itself where it wants to be placed. So sometimes when you hear the phrase that let the watercolor do its thing, I think maybe this is what they're thinking about. That you do lesser human brushstrokes, but let the water be sort of the carrier of your pigment. This is just one glaze. It needs more work. So you also have to get used to returning to items and repaint them again and again and again until you feel that now they are the way you want them to be. I'm not sure that this is completely dry. Okay, to be sure, I'm just gonna heat set this because then we can start painting in the trunk. Okay, I want the trunk to be in that teal bluish color here. So I am taking the blue and then I'm just gonna grab from here the mother color, and then it turns purple. I don't want it to be purple, so I'm just keep on adding the blue until I get a different color. And then I get this very interesting purplish teal that I actually kind of like. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna start on the shadow side of the trunk with my application. I'm praying that I can come on top of this area right here and do the handle in some sort of a metallic color. I hope so. But now I added in my paint. Then I'm gonna wet my brush and then I'm gonna let the water drag down the color to fill in this shape right here, and then fill in this shape here. And then if you think it's too bright, I can already tell now that it might be a little bit too bright. I'm gonna just dab in more pigments that can sort of run down along the side of this shape. Yeah, that was a little bit too much. Okay, the trick is not to touch it, so I'm just gonna not touch it. And then I'm gonna water down my mix to make it more sheer. And then do the same over here. Oh, I hope that it's gonna look fantastic with the shimmery paint on the metal work. If I don't get the effect from watercolor, maybe I could take a gel pen. I got a wet brush now. I'm just dragging down the color. And then I think that I have oh look. I have painted in a shape where I visually can see that it can open up. There's like division. So instead of just blocking everything in this square in one matte mass tone, now it's more visual for me to see, that it can open up, if it makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna heat set that so I can start filling in color on the top of the trunk. I got a puddle that's stuck down here. I'm just soaking it up. I think I need a little bit more water in my mix here. And then I'm first gonna apply my color next to this shape that's standing on top. And now it's a round shape, so maybe I need to do this whole area in one go, and it have to be stronger here where it's in shade. So I'm gonna add more so I'm just gonna keep on mixing until I feel that now I get like a dark mix right here. Okay, now we start dragging with a wet brush, contact to the puddle, just gently drag it out. And now comes the exciting for me. This area here where there is like a stronger pigments. It's always for me exciting to see how will it dry up, like it's its own creature. I'm just gonna clean up that edge so it's not so. Yeah. So the fun thing is, how is it gonna dry up? Because the filler in these cheap, no, I don't want to say cheap in a negative way, but these inexpensive watercolors, the fillers are sometimes giving you a very likable, fun texture that can look and be mistaken as granulation, but it's not. It's actually like a little bit chalky filler that gives you this sandy, gritty look when you're using a technique like this. So maybe you already now can you see that sandy, gritty look you have here? And maybe you recognize it from the illustrations in Daphne's diary. They are really big on taking advantage of that gritty, sandy look for some reason. But I like to look at it. I think it's actually pretty. So it's also a question about, if you like the style. I think I will try and think about the background. Maybe it's best if we have like a floor groundwork, like a line work. Let me just audition that first. Yeah, I think I want a line work to tell me where the wall is, so it looks like they are stacked. But I don't want to give myself like a complete straight line. I'm gonna give myself a cut line. Maybe like so. Does it look crazy? What if the line was down all the way down here? Ah, I'm gonna regret that line. What's going through my head is if you divide this length of the paper into thirds, then I can actually maybe put my line 1/3 up, and maybe that would look cuter in a page spread like this. So I'm just gonna audition. 1/3 up is around here, right? And then again, not a straight line that going from edge to edge, but like a cut. Yeah, I like that better. Visually, I think it was like too much weight if the line work was up there, but this is better. you, you like, yeah, the mother color. Oh my god, I have painted so much with that the mother color concept, and it has always helped me. Sometimes my mother color is a yellow, so if I'm doing like a landscape, then everything I paint will have a specific yellow in the mix. And if you just put a little of it in, you can still retain, like, the blue is still looking, you still read that as blue, you still read that as brown. But in the end, there's gonna be, I don't know how to explain it, but the wise people say that it becomes more harmonious and allows you to use more colors in your painting when you're working with the mother color concept, because all the colors are having the same pigment in them, so it's not gonna look like a crazy quilt with a lot of strange colors that don't like mix well into each other. Yeah, yep, yeah, it's a little bit difficult to explain. But I do think that the mother color should appear in pure form. So what I would do is that I would take the mother color as the background, and I think I'm gonna take up this mix here. Now I just diluted it out so I can plot in some more of the color. And I think what I would do is I have to work super fast because apparently this paper is drying up quick on me. So what I want to do is to build up the background, put in color, 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 and then try and drag it out with a wet brush. So we get like oh my god, I got so much real estate to cover here, so now I'm getting like frantic. Okay, wet brush, quickly drag it out. You sort of have like one go at this, otherwise you will get like, you start to get edges, and if you come in with more water, you can end up in a hell zone of glooms, and it's it looks so effortless when it's finished, but it's actually a bit stressful to do a big background in this style here, because the whole thing is to think about how is it ending, like you want it to be like an illustration somehow. And now I need a very sheer okay, first I'm going ahead of myself. Look at the shape, like that could be casted from the blue trunk, so we actually need a darker shape that could be cast from the round hat box. So I actually need to put in a little bit more value here. Yeah, and this is what's so messy. You have to go in a wet wash and add a little bit more pigments. But can you see the madness of it? So it's gonna be like super sheer over here with no casted shadow because all the shadings are in this area here. So you take the mother color and then a lot of water do this whole area in the same technique where you put down pigment, pigment, pigment. And here we also have this annoying gap in the strap area here. And now clean brush with just water on it. You whisk out the rest here. And now it's becoming super, super sheer, and we want that. I have an edge that's very unlikable. Oh shoot, the only way I can get rid of that edge is with more pigment. Yeah, it is because it's a thirsty paper. If you got like a little bit better watercolor paper, you would be able to work with that soft, with that edge, and make it from hard to soft. Here we got backgrounds, blooms. I think I'm gonna leave them in, but you can actually pick up the rim of the bloom while the watercolor is still wet. So sometimes you can work it a little bit, but don't add in more now. Now it's too late if you don't like blooms. And that's how I get that illustration casted casual shading that looks so effortless in a magazine. But I actually think it's not effortless to paint it out because you want it to look so easy, you know. But it's a big area you have to put in color. So if you're working on a paper that is just not playing well with you, this can be very super annoying. Okay, now I need a floor color. I'm thinking gray, like dark gray. So we had the brown and we had the blue. Why not make a gray out of those two colors? I forgot. Was it this one here we picked up? Okay, I'm just gonna try. I think it was. If you mix these two, you should get a gray color. And then you add in your mother color. I'm just gonna make a mess on my palette here. So if you ever have seen people who are ending up their painting sessions with like twirling around the whole palette, I think it's because they sometimes are working with the concept of making shadows with what you got of residue on your palette. This is not gray anymore. It's picked up a different shade. So you just keep on adding pigment until you get that gray that you wanted. So you can keep on building on top of that mix you have in your palette. Now we're getting super close to a very nice. This is a super nice shading color. So we're gonna do the same drill as with the background. We're gonna put in a lot of pigments, dragging it out. And I think I will start. Uh, Maybe it's easier for me to start out here where it's light, because if I start here and then I start over here, I will maybe get blooms right there. So I'm thinking about starting very light. And then lots of water. And now I'm gonna fill in this area here. Lots of water again. Simply just let it fade out into like nothing. And now comes the tricky part. Keep this edge wet. As long as it's wet, we should be okay. And now I can come in with my stronger color. And I'm just plotting in the pigment with the tip of my brush. If you need like a very long casted shadow, you need, of course, more pigments to do it. And then I'm wetting my brush, and then with a wet brush, try and cast the shadow to move. I think I could actually have more pigment. Can you see that? Like, I wouldn't be sad if it's just like blurred out. I like that. Okay, now comes the part where some people think, oh, that's like a violation to what you just did. I'm gonna take the same shadow color we have here, and I'm gonna use it in a glaze on the on top of what we painted. And here I'm just dragging it all the way down in a wet wash because we already in our first application made sure that we had that the interesting gradation of color. So I'm just making a long wet wash along the edge here. And then I'm gonna let it meet down in the bottom here and let them kiss each other so that you don't get a hard edge down in the bottom. And that's how you get an edge where the color is like crawling up along the item that's casting the shadow. Sometimes if I do just the shadow, it looks like it's two different things me clashing each other. But with this wash here, you kind of make it a bit more seamless. I don't feel that I'm finished with this hat box here. It needs more color, so I did not shade that part. So that's why that's untouched. But now this needs to dry up. Maybe we could actually finish that hat box. So what we did was we took this brown color. I'm just gonna clean up some area here on my palette so I get enough space. Let's just remove that purple completely. I think it was this brown here that we took, and then we added the mother color to it. More brown. Yeah, that's the warm maroon. This time you have a difference between this side and that side, so you can actually glaze the whole item, which makes it much more fun to watercolor because you can honestly not make any mistake. You could kind of say that what we have here is an underpainting, so you're basically just glazing in your color. So if you want to have like these nice long strokes because it feels like you're not fiddling with your brush, this is just super nice. It's very wet, so I'm just gonna pick up some of the water, and I'm gonna leave it alone. And then I can see that there is a value shift here. It's very bright. That strap is super bright, so I'm just gonna glaze that too. And I still want it to be dark down here, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of my shading color and darken it up. It could actually also be dark up here in the edge of the strap. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry and then we can see how it's gonna look. It could be fun to add more blue color to this trunk right here and a little bit more lavender to this. So I think I'll heat set it with a heat gun so we are completely sure what we got. So hang on. We got a nice filler settlement. Remember I said that inexpensive watercolor got some fillers in it that could be read as granulation. Look what happened right there. Can you see that texture? That is, it's not a granular pigment. It's just the filler, and it's because we had it saturated over here, and then we dissolved it with a lot of water and dragged it apart from each other, like molecules dragging apart. So it leaves that residue. And the more and more you practice this idea of depositing a thick layer and then pulling it out with a wet brush, the more you will bump into this sort of effect right there, which I feel is super likable. I really like that look. Okay, I think I need to. I'm looking in the monitor. It's so sheer. I really would like to strengthen up the blue and the lavender. So I'm completely gonna wipe off my palette because now I no longer have any bearings on what puddle is what. I'm just gonna give myself a clean starting point here. If you like to paint with Kuretake Gansai Tambe palette, where you can actually take out the pans that you're working with, it would be an advantage because did you notice how I quickly forgot which pan I picked from? But if you have the Kuretake Gansai Tambe set, you can take out the pans and lay next to your palette, so you will not be in doubt what color you picked. But I'm pretty sure that I picked this lavender down here for the suitcase lying at the bottom. Yeah, the granulation is cool. I love granulation too. Yeah, I like the shadow too. What I love about the shading is that it doesn't look handmade. You know, like it doesn't look like a brushstroke that I can do. Like looks like the watercolor itself just rested there. And if I had to make a brush handmade shadow, I probably would have more linear approach to it. You know, like there would be like a sharp line here. You know, like us humans, we like to have like geometric shapes, cast geometric shaped shadings, and they do in real life, but in soft illustrations, they can be like this and be okay. Um, okay, I'm gonna strengthen up the color of this suitcase so it reads more lavender for me. So I'm just gonna follow, what we did before. And then wet water. Oh shoot, I think I should have taken one element at the time because now the paper is just soaking up the pigment. And then we have this area here. And as you can see, um, it's like it's quicker. The glazing is sometimes quicker than the first underpainting, where you're like more meticulous. I also feel that sometimes on round objects there is some sort of a, there could be like a stripe. So I'm just gonna see if I like it. If I don't like it, I can tap it off. But I'm thinking I'm just gonna wet this area here. And then I'm gonna try and make a stripe. If I don't like it, I can remove it. I don't feel that I'm getting the stripes. I'm just gonna come in with a brush and try and suck up some of the. Okay, I'm just gonna let that dry and see if I like it. Okay, I'm gonna heat set because I hit that hat box. I'm just gonna heat set so I can work on the blue one. I think it was this pen here. And a little bit of the mother color. And then more of the blue. I think I wanted more blue. I'm gonna take one section at a time so I don't get surprised in how quickly the page, oh my god, the paper is sucking up the pigment. There was one. I can't wait to come in with line work. I don't think that I need a lot up here on the top. I'm sort of content with having a highlight that's like almost white, because in some illustrations sometimes the one of the items are like looking like it's casting white light because the light is so bright. So I'm just gonna leave that as a super bright highlight. Okay, I'm gonna take the brown and put into this blue puddle here, and very quickly I got a shading color, and then I'm gonna shade the hat box. And it's a round object, so it's a little bit annoying to shade. Like for me, it's a little bit unfamiliar working with the a round shape, but I do know that it needs the shading. So maybe I'll just leave it like that. It looks odd here, so maybe I should put in a little bit, just a little bit color here to finish off that corner of that suitcase. I think that now I will come in with some pen work and then refine the pen lines. And then, okay, I'm gonna try and make the, oh, it's gonna look so tacky if it's gold metal. I'm gonna take my Paul Rubens shimmery palette and see if we can find a pearlescent color that's more suitable than just gold clasps. Oh, that was not the one. Oh, I love this palette here. Oh my god, we could actually go super playful and have like other, doesn't need to be like metal. It could be like maybe green or hmm, thinking. But this would be like the traditional color for the metalware on one of the suitcases. So I'm just going to drop in some water in that one. And then I also like this bright copperish color here. And maybe I should just go gold on the hat box. Oh, just gonna have a sip of water. Oh my god, I just looked up in the monitor. I'm so bad to check the monitor. Let me see if I can do something about that white light. I got a lot of, is it contrast that I need to, or is it this one? Or that one? I don't know if it helped. I couldn't really tell. I'm just turning away my lamp. Maybe this is a little bit better. It's still like super whited out. I got an idea. What if I do like this? And then maybe like this? Maybe this. Okay, let's try that light. Let's see if it prevents me from getting the glare. Um, let's start with the hat box. I am gonna come in with some ink line work. Could look so cool on this illustration here. Also because the shimmer, it's very difficult to make like shadow and bright areas. So it's just going to be like a glob of something glimmer, and then line work is going to help us make the corners look like corners. I'm such a sucker for this shimmer. Oh my god. Okay, one of these prompts must be like a shimmer prompt. I somehow must figure out how I can transform one of the prompts in this challenge into like a shimmer drawing. Oops. I got a handle there. Should it be in this shimmer too? I'm just gonna do like that. Oof, that was too much. And then the last could have like a. It's having like really dark. I like this illustration. It could be so cute in a journal, like in a travel journal. And then we have this handle here. I do think that the handle on the pink suitcase should have somewhat of a pink handle. And then we could have like just some metal connecting the handle to the metalware here. Maybe like that. Okay, I'm gonna find some sort of an ink pen. How do you decide when you want ink line on your images? Does it just depend on the image? I'm not big on ink lines. Um, I think sometimes it makes it look really hard. So I could also try and sketch in with a colored pencil, for instance, so we can see, it looks so soft when you take not a black color, but like a dark gray to begin with. Sometimes I feel that ink lines, black ink lines, can look very hard. But I rarely use micron pens on my drawings compared to like other people who like having that line work on their things. Maybe it's just a question of habit. Like I can imagine if I used a lot of micron pens, then my drawing would look naked without the line work. So I can completely understand people who likes to use a lot of line work, that when they see other people paint, they're like, yes, it's cute, but it's not finished, girl. You need the lines. Like I can understand how it's like itching in them to come in and line things up. I think I'm gonna heat set it so I can draw on top of the shimmer. I wonder if this will draw on top of the shimmer. Oh, barely. Can we actually see it? Maybe I should shift to okay, I'm just gonna try and draw with this one here, see if it makes a dent. It's especially in a corner like this that line work would help to define the turned box. I feel I'm just pressing in the stamped paper. Let's see. I also need something on these clasps here. think this corner is okay. I think it's done. I like what I see. It could be, of course, be stronger in color, but I just kind of like that it's so light and feminine. So I think it's gonna be okay. I'm a little bit concerned about that right there. So I think I'm gonna take from my palette and see if I can blot in something that can sort of cover it up a little bit. Maybe that helped a little bit. But look at the shimmer. Love it a lot. Okay, I think I will call that suitcase prompt finished. Um, for fun, and it's just because it's for fun. It could be fun to have a little bit of yellow here to show some, I don't know, some daylight. And of course, you cannot mix in the mother color in the yellow. So I'm just gonna give it a very sheer, super, super sheer. And yellow is one of those pigments that are round, so it likes to spread a lot. If you take a microscope and zoom into the yellow pigment, it got round edges, and some say that that explains why it's so easily and friendly to spread out, like feather out. So always be a little bit cautious with applying yellow because it is a runner and it just likes to mingle with all kinds of other colors. So sometimes it gets very dominating if you don't look out. So watercolor rule, always light, 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 because you can always make it darker, but it's a little bit difficult sometimes to take back. So I can see this, and it's nice for my illustration. The camera doesn't pick it up, but it's just warming up this area. And if you like to have things being a little bit warmed up, you can actually apply this yellow on every single thing that's hitting the light. That's a way to sort of warm it up. So it's also fun in these illustrations to have like a color combination and then a light source that's colored, so it's not always white, and then add that color to your items when you're done, because it sort of marries the background together with the items that you painted. So yeah, that was it. Oh, you're welcome, Cassandra. I'm very bad at explaining because I sometimes get zoned in while I'm painting and drawing, and then I realize that, oh my god, I haven't said anything for like 2 minutes. So sometimes I kind of forget, lose time. So, but I think I will end here because I did the two prompts that I wanted to do, and I think Arch is for tomorrow. So tomorrow I can battle with that arch shape, and then oh my god, we have a fireplace coming up, and then there's like crystals, storefront, and Christmas. I was a little bit disappointed about the prompt Christmas because why not Halloween, right? Could be so cool if it was Halloween. So yeah. But thank you for watching along this today. So I wish you a nice weekend, and then I'll end my stream now. So bye bye.